Hey everybody, it's Zero Gear Plus, and we're just gonna hop into it today.
What are we transmuting this time?
Obviously, you guys can tell by how everything's a little fast that I've sped up the gameplay for this episode, and you'll notice that this episode's a little longer than usual. That's because it is a twofer, baby! We're doing the super episode today. The Megasode. What have you. I'm gonna comment a little less on what's actively happening on the screen for this episode because, it's story time. I recorded episodes 12 and 13 last night, and I accidentally moved the wrong slider, which just destroyed my voiceover. So in a way that it can't be fixed. It's just overgained, and it was clipping the hell out everywhere. So I fixed it, and we're gonna do this in post. So I'm putting both of these episodes together just so that we can not get through them. It's not that I'm not proud of these, it's just this game is supposed to be blind content, and now obviously I know what's happening, so... But I don't want to remove them entirely because they're kind of required listening, or required reading, as the case may be. But this is more or less an opportunity for you guys to see my routing, kind of while I talk about something else for 33 minutes. Luckily, you guys know me and how I can ramble for an unforgivable amount of time. And I'll probably comment on what's happening in the game as it's happening, because there's some cool stuff that happened in episodes 12 and 13, let me assure you. But, nope, this is going to kind of be the dirty laundry episode, I guess, for a chance for anyone to go down into the comments and air out your grievances. Is there anything that I have been doing in this playthrough so far? Am I spending too much time in town? Not there, there's only one. Have I been spending too much time in town? Because it feels like maybe I have. Am I not going to town too much? Am I going too often? Is my second guessing of where I want to go and what I want to do, is that becoming annoying? Should I be using more shards more frequently? Because I have just been kind of using the same things over and over and over again. If I've been using them at all. I'm actually not super, I have not been using that much of like our bullet shards and stuff like that. So this is just a chance for you guys to comment down below, like, what you want to see more of in this project, essentially. But if I recall correctly, and I do, because we did this last night, stuff starts to pick up, like, I don't want to say fast, but, like, we run into some cool stuff. A lot of the really cool stuff was happening in episode 13. Episode 12 was more or less the setup to getting me to the cool stuff in episode 13, but cool stuff happened here too. But as far as the everyday, what was ZGP planning on talking about for 30 minutes? So this morning, yeah, so I don't know what's up with the stuff that you need to sit for. I'm sure I'm going to find out later, and this is the part where I was talking about Tunic. I was like, oh, this better not turn into something like Tunic, where there's a thing I could have done the whole time at all of these places that I need to sit. But, no, so this morning, I was sitting in my living room, eating a bowl of Frosted Flakes, and have you ever had that thing that just, like, that you're super grateful when you find it on YouTube or something similar, because it's just like something from your childhood that there probably shouldn't be media for, but it's been found and somebody uploaded it, and it's like, it's really bad fidelity because it's like 16 years old? Well, for me, that content in particular is Cartoon Network Groovies. Now, for those of you that don't know, Cartoon Network Groovies were basically a filler. They were just an MTV style music video that played in between cartoons on Boomerang in you know, the 90s, the late 90s, early 2000s. And they were good. They were so good. I don't know. I haven't had cable in almost a decade, but I remember up until we let go of cable, pretty much, they were still playing them for the most part. They were only playing like 2 of them. They only played like the Jabberjaw one and maybe the Josie and the Pussycats one, which were really good. But there is a playlist on YouTube that I go back to every once in a while, uploaded by a user named Code7. He uploaded most of the videos. I don't actually know who created the playlist, but Code7 did most of the videos, and they're all there, I believe. I can't think of any that are missing. But I just go through and I just listen to them, and they remind me of what it's like to be a kid, because that's when I used to see them all the time. And just, it makes me long for the days when networks would work with other creators and do cool collabs of stuff. Like, I'll give you an example. In this particular playlist, the very first song, the very first video is about Courage the Cowardly Dog, and it's performed by They Might Be Giants. Cartoon Network wouldn't do stuff like that now. They're just gonna run another episode of Teen Titans Go for the 10,000th time. Maybe break it up with a little Amazing World of Gumball and have that be, you just call it a day. That's the schedule, boys. We know what the children like. We know what they want. I want my Cartoon Network groovies back, man. Now, granted, that was a Boomerang thing, more so than it was an active Cartoon Network thing, but, like, there was more overlap back then. And just, like, the what's the word I'm looking for? Just the cooperation with other partners and stuff like that. It was just really cool. Speaking of really cool, this area, the Dragon Tower, I love the forced perspective where you're running around the outside of it, so, like, the camera is changed and different. So, like, if you throw, like, my water balls were coming towards the screen, that was really cool. But just collabing with other, like, and these were not small-time people. Like, Hey Johnny Bravo was performed by Reverend Horton Heat. There were 2 They Might Be Giant songs. The songs Circles and Rolling from Soul Coughing's El Oso album were on there. And granted, those were just pulled from an album, but then you had songs like Go Monkey Go, which was performed by Devo. It's not like they wrote a song, right? And it had the Tarzan effect, where we're using it in this context, but you could still play it on the radio, and without the previous context, it could be about anything. They wrote a song, Devo wrote a song called Go Monkey Go, and in the chorus, they used the name Mojo Jojo. So of course it's a song about the Powerpuff Girls franchise. It can't be anything else. Yeah, I probably stood with this gear for way too long. I don't know what you need to do to get this thing active, because I was standing here trying to turn this thing longer than I feel like I should have, and I didn't get a click, I didn't get anything to give me any sort of indication that something was happening. I see there's a grate in the ceiling, but maybe I should have been able to jump up on top of that, because I remember recording the episode, and I'm like, I don't know what I'm supposed to do. It looks like I can go up this way, but I don't know if I actually can go up this way, and I actually didn't think to try jumping on the gear. Usually when the game gives you a giant turny thing, you turn it until something happens. So that one's my bad for not thinking, like, not playing with a full deck. Which, to be fair, I didn't come to the conclusion that maybe I could jump on that thing until just now. Here we got some bugs, some scythe mites. I remember calling them Sith mites the first time, and then I circle back to it. I'm like, Sith mites? The hell am I talking about? Is Darth Vader coming to suck my blood? Dude, imagine Darth Vader as a vampire. Just Count Vader. And it's James Earl Jones' voice, but doing, like, the stereotypical, like, the German, like, the Did Bela Lugosi do, like, the I want to suck your blood? Or was that, like, a Vincent Price thing? I will be honest, I'm not super familiar with, like, the traditional monster movies. Like, the old Hammer-style Monster of the Week films. Which Monster of the Week is more of a trope. Oh, yeah, the Flying Edge. This thing's it's just the rune sword. I remember between episode 12 and 13, I was doing a lot of... This game's just a nicer looking Symphony of the Night. I can't even say nicer looking, because Symphony is still a beautiful game. For a PlayStation 1 title that... I mean, sprites... I've had this conversation with people at work before. Sprites will always look good. Just, they will stand the test of time as long as they're made well. Sprites are beautiful, and they're just... If you do them right, they'll look perfect forever. Oh yeah, this is the part where I was like, is something wrong with my game? Because it took forever for this to load, and then nothing weird happened, apparently. So, better than what happened a couple episodes ago when Zangetsu crashed my game, practically. He didn't crash it, but, you know, desynced the whole thing, and that was the start of my desyncing problems. So that's cool. But we're playing on the PS4 now, so I don't gotta worry about that no more. I do remember not being afraid to go through this area a couple times, so I wasn't afraid to get lost so much because, oh yeah, this is where I was like, 0 out of 10, this game's unplayable, won't let me pick up the thing. And it probably just clipped into the geometry of the ground there. But I remember staying a little longer in this area than I would have normally because I'm like, I need to kill these wolfmen for one of Lindsay's quests, I think. So I was like, we'll spend some more time here, I guess. And I think I got just about everything around the outside. But I'm gonna say it again. This game's amazing. Oh yeah, this is where I had trouble jumping up to here because it's a skill check, and I wasn't paying attention to how far I should actually be running out the platform. This is a makeable jump. I'm just gonna stand here and fail at it a couple times. If I even jump. What is this? This isn't me. Look at this, bonking our heads on stuff, jumping way too early. I tried jumping from a lower platform thinking maybe that was the trick, and I was like, well, okay, hang on. Can I even make this jump? And then I started to get, like, frantic. I was like, nope, it's just a skill check that I was failing. I like how the game throws the concept of the clock tower at you, like, really early. I'm gonna say it. In most Castlevania games, the clock tower is usually a late game area. It's usually where you fight the Grim Reaper. It's usually where you get some game-defining ability that lets you progress forward. But this just seems to be a clock tower of some sort. And then they're just like, yeah, okay, so you keep going on your way. I can't remember, did I get the fairy summon yet? Well, if I didn't, like, spoilers, I guess, for something that's going to happen literally in the next 10 seconds. But I had surmised that I think it's right here. No? I must have gotten it already. I had surmised that possibly the fairy summon works like the fairy summon in Soten, where it's like, oh yeah, if you get low on health, it'll use your items and heal you or something. But I haven't tried it yet, so jury's out on that one. Time will tell. I'm going to swipe every wall in this game if it kills me. Because I gotta know. There's gonna be, like, secrets galore behind the one wall I didn't check, so just check every wall. Ah, yes, this area. I remember commenting on the Simeon. I'm like, that's a monkey dude down there. And I don't know what this lady's doing here. She belongs in, like, the portrait gallery, not out here in the weeds, essentially. And then we found the well. And then my life got better. Come on, man, just go down in the well. You know you wanna. We all float down here. Froggermen, enter the frog, enter the Kremet, as it were. Man, you know what I just thought about? The speed up function that I'm using in Camtasia to edit this. If you try to speed up media, with voice in Adobe Premiere, because I used Premiere for a short time when Kelsey and I were together, it speeds up, but it keeps it at pitch. The way that Camtasia will speed up sound is just a full speed up. That includes a pitch shift differential. That's why Miriam sounds like Minnie Mouse here. But I deemed this the chipmunk effect, which I haven't done on this channel since, and I did it to a much more exaggerated degree, but I haven't done that on this channel since Chrono Trigger, and that was over a decade ago. Hard to think sometimes that I've been doing this for 12 and a half years. Makes me realize how old I am. Now, I haven't been doing it the whole time, but, you know, sometimes when you've been even doing something on and off for a extended period of time, you just go, man, I don't know. So this is where I ended the episode, so we're just going to go to a little whoop, just a little fade right there and keep on going. So this is episode 13. So we walk into this room, and there he is. This is where I called out the developers. I'm like, okay, 505 Studios. I paused because I just couldn't bear to witness. I'm like, I see what you're doing here. That's literally just Shovel Knight. And I got so happy because I'm like, I need to just grind this out. I need to get the Shovel Knight shard. I gotta have it. And sure enough, I'll get it at some point. I get it pretty early on. But I was just so happy. This is the part where I see this thing, this waterfall, and I contemplate. I'm like, if I jump down there, I can't come back up the waterfall, so I'm going to get stuck. So I'll go back. This gives me an excuse to go get the Shovel Knight shard eventually, I hope. So we swing on him. There's the shard, and I'm like, oh, we're just going to go save. I want to save this for solidarity's sake. We just put it on immediately. I thought maybe it would be a summon, but I wasn't paying attention to color, so it is a bullet soul. And this is not a soul that you can spam either. Like you gotta use it, and then that's it. So that's gonna take some learning. I can't just throw it out like the water balls or something, or the bats. You get the Circular Ripper, which is the most expensive yo-yo I've ever seen. So we're gonna switch back over to the Heretical Grinder. Because it's just... Look, man, when you can produce from the palm of your hand a spinning, ripping, tearing, spinny, yelling blade of instant doom, why wouldn't you use that? Plus, it's cheaper, which is a cost-benefit analysis. And then I do the thing that gamers my age were taught to do when you played adventure games. We check one room. We're going to go back and save immediately because we got permanent buff upgrades. And so Spastic Saver, I don't want to have to go back and get these again if I die. Even though I would be going so far out of my way to die. Jumping back into a room to grab something for 15 seconds is not the end of the world, but that's how we were raised. Whenever you're right next to a save point, if you've done anything, step inside the save room and save. Because you never know when something could come up from the ground and kick your ass. And this is when I had it. I was like, guys, this is just Symphony of the Night with extra steps. We jumped down the giant fucking waterfall thing, and I was just mad. I was just venting at this point. I'm like, come on. This is ridiculous. You're literally ripping off the best parts of a previous game, which, I mean, you're allowed to do. But I'm just like, this is the part where I said, I'm expecting in the next 2 or 3 rooms for there to be a block that I can push up against a leaky wall that causes water to back up into a room with 4 spear guys that they start to freak out and drown when the water level gets too high. I haven't come across one of those rooms yet, but I can hope. So what did we just get? We got the critical ring, because I was like, oh, hey, higher opportunity for crits equals more damage. More damage equals enemies are alive for less amount of time, which means that I will be safer in the long run. I don't know if... well, there's Release the Toad. I don't know if the critical ring, thinking about it now, I don't know if the critical ring also affects my familiars. I'm curious. I don't know an accurate way to test that. But it's worth looking into. I don't think I keep the critical ring on for long. We come across something else that's better. This is where I was ranting about the spear dudes. Like, there better be a room with a bunch of spear dudes that are trapped in a thing with water. And this was the room where I was like, well, I hope they don't expect me to, this is where I realized, I'm like, man, I'm screwed if, there's something down here that I can't overcome, because I can't go back up the waterfall, and I can't swim, so I can't go forward. And there's the fish that nearly killed me in episode 3? 4? But nope, we'll go back over this way. There's a little scaffolding that we can go up. Got another Shovel Knight. Just kill the Shovel Knight. It's fine. This is why we check. I had no reason to check that wall. And then we got the journal entry over here. The Zantetsuken, not to be confused with the Zantetsuken. A comment that I remember making because it actually made me chuckle a little bit. I was like, hey, I can be clever. I do like that this game does the forward, like the quarter circle forward, and just like combat game inputs. Here is where I was debating. I'm like, do I save? Because if I save, I'm stuck down here until I can get out. So if there's a boss that I can't beat, I'm fucked. And then I rationalized it like, oh, I'll just go to a previous save and just unfuck myself. Thank you, Shovel Knight. Such a nice boy. These frogs and these bats, like, first of all, they sneak up on you in a way that games of the like, they have weaponized AI, like a weaponized movement, where it's like their hitbox is small, so you can't just do whatever you want and like go after them. They always move right as you're getting into position to hit them. Bats and frogs are just designed to be frustrating as hell. And the devs knew it. They knew what they were doing when they built the bats and the frogs, because I always get hit by them. Case in point, I jumped into the room knowing there were bats and frogs, being like, oh, if I just swing wildly, I should hit something. There were 4 things I could have hit. I didn't hit a single thing. I don't remember if I got the demon soul or not. So that's why I'm not afraid to fight demons whenever I come across them, because I'm like, oh, is this a thing I can get? Do I have this yet? And frankly, I just don't remember. This is the part where I started to get nervous. I'm like, there's gonna be a boss. I started just like getting in my own head. Like, there's gonna be a boss. I'm not gonna be able to kill it. What am I doing? Why did I save? Why did I save? Why did I have to do this? Why do I do this to myself? I always do this to myself. Got a sapphire there. Checking for secrets. Like, look how small these frog hitboxes are. Imagine how frustrating that. I mean, it's like trying to hit a frog in real life, really. Which, not that I should see a reason why you would need to hit a frog. Frogs are our friends. Even the poisonous ones and toads and whatnot. They're still so cute. All frogs are cute, even the ugly ones. Even these stupid little men. This is where I was freaking out, nerding out. I was like, oh, he doesn't just have a set attack pattern. If he gets ready to attack and you jump over him, he'll try to hit you from above, but he's just a little too slow to actually maintain on that. So here we have a locked door. Now, something I didn't try was the right stick thing. To see if maybe I could use, like, my aura that comes out of my hands to try to push the thing through the other thing, but... try to push the thing through the other thing. Really? Is that how far I've sunk? To try to pull the... or I guess in this case, push the lever through the door. That's the thing through the thing. But, no, levers require a up press input, so I don't think that's something the game would let me do. Don't know why I didn't just explore that room when it was right in front of me. Clearly, we're in the bottom and need to go out, because I don't understand how, like, dungeon design works. I'm going to see if I can see this in the inventory now. I got a voice changer there, and I don't know what it does. I don't see it. I don't know where it is. I don't see it in there anywhere. And then I was checking all over my inventory. I'm like, what the hell is this thing? It's not a key item. And it's not going to be in the compendium anywhere or anything like that. So I don't know if anybody knows what the voice changer is without spoiling anything. If it's important, then don't. Is it a weapon? Could it be an accessory? Could it be art? No, I would have seen it. Yep, okay, this managed to stump me the second time around. How fun. I think this game is paced very well. We are very strong. And I like that. But I also don't feel overpowered. Because, like, as you can see, Shovel Knight's about to kill me here. This is the part where I spend way too long debating whether or not I should have pizza or cake. Just pick one. It's not hard. Just pick one. The footage is sped up. If that's as annoying to you guys on watching as it is to me on rewatching, I apologize. I could have just rode the elevator up, and I chose not to. Would it be an elevator? Would it be an escalator? In a way, I guess. It's a... I have always pronounced that Bayer, and I don't know why. It's B-U-E. That's not an A sound, I don't think. Unless U-E makes a surprise A sound that I don't remember. But it could be like Bauer. No, because that would be like A-U-E-R. That's too many vowels next to each other. Too many different vowels next to each other. So we find our way out of there. And no sooner than I do, I'm like, yeah, you know what? We should probably go back in there. Because there's cool stuff that I should probably get my hands on. But I think we go save first, don't we? Or maybe we just hop back in now. Because I figured if I was down there, I could just go all the way back down and save. I don't remember. This happened last night. Dude, what do you need to see that's in the map menu for so long? Is this what you guys... Do you guys put up with this? Because this isn't cool. I suck at games. I'm an adult now. I have a job. I spend most of my time complaining about how tired I am because my job's not fun. The job doesn't have to be fun, I guess. It just has to... Either it needs to be fun or it needs to be... It needs to support you in a way that lets you continue to survive. I would rather have the fun job. Because I'm tired of being tired, man. Hey, Shovel Knight. Oh, this is the part where I realized, I'm like, whoa, can Spear Guy come in and, like, take hits for me? Yeah, that pause was me being like, whoa! Spearman Fred can take hits for me, which is pretty cool. I don't think the sword can do that. Mr. Demon Face. We get $1. And the Traverser's Ring. Yes! Say goodbye to the critical ring. I knew that the map armor would be in this game somewhere, and here it is. Only it's a little different. The map armor in Symphony of the Night got more defensive power added to it as you filled in the map. The Traverser's Ring gives you more attack, equal to the amount of map that you've discovered. So it can only get better. So we took off the critical ring because I'm like, dude, I'd just rather deal more damage consistently. That's how I prefer to play games. I'd rather have a constant as opposed to a variable. See, I should have just got these the first time, but don't know what I was thinking. I wasn't thinking. I was recording. I was more worried about what I was going to say versus what I was actually doing. And the video starts coming to a close here. I remember I was contemplating, I'm like, okay, we can go back up and then maybe I'll go to the town in the next episode. We'll figure out what we want to do from there. That'll be cool, right? Still can't believe Shovel Knight's in this game. Like, this is a discovery I made last night, and I'm like, this is the coolest thing. Comment below if you're a Shovel Knight fan. Or if you've played any of the DLCs. Because I will say that of all of the DLCs, like, I played Shovel Knight, I played Plague Knight, I played Spectre Knight. When King Knight came out, I spent more time playing that stupid card game than I had any business to. Just like when Final Fantasy VII Rebirth came out, and I was playing that Queen's Blood game. God, if you get a card game, like, I'm on it. But before I get too distracted with that, because that's an entirely different tangent, the video will be over soon. I don't actually get to control when this one ends, so thank you everybody for indulging me in this two-part conglomerate of the post-commentary episode, where we're basically back up to speed. So the blind playthrough will continue in the following episode. So, until then, this is Zero Gear Plus signing off, and I will see you guys later.